Welcome everyone to this German episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, a show that finds us touring the globe through the medium of horrific, chilling and disturbing entertainment. My name's Donald and I'm the driver on this quest. Joining me at my side, as always, with a road atlas on his lap and drenched in goat's milk, is my navigator Ali. Say hello, Ali.
Guten Tag, Donald.
Back to a language you're slightly more familiar with, so...
Ever so slightly. Wie geht's?
Oh, please stop. Where are we? We're in camping resort Zugspitze, in the shadows of the glorious Alps. Do you dream of a vacation with a lot of comfort, rest, and relaxation?
Did you see what country we're in?
Germany. Well, I said this German episode.
Okay.
Fifth
Just 'cause
word
you
I
said
said.
in the shadow of the
You're already
Alps, and I was
You're
and I
already
was
not
like,
listening.
the Alps are like
Yeah, they're big.
8 countries.
Yeah, we're in the German bit. Fuck.
I mean, to be fair, I only found out that Mount Everest was in the Himalayas not that long ago.
That is sheer fucking...
I thought they were separate things.
Sheer fucking ignorance. Pitches,
Yeah.
mountain huts, sleeping barrels. Where will you stay overnight in camping resort Zugspitze?
In the caravan. We'll be staying in the caravan.
Take your choice.
Which I've cleaned since last time, thank you.
Yeah,
very
well, now
much.
you're covered in goat's milk. Take your choice between well-equipped parking spaces with supply and disposal columns.
It's good for your skin.
Visit the bistro, Alpspitzblick, or indulge in culinary delicacies in the Schmolzer Wirt restaurant.
You sound like the only German you've ever heard is from like 60s era World War II movies.
Do you remember the comedy show Allo Allo? That's where I get my German
Concept,
from.
yes. In practice, not so much.
Well, we're in the shadows of the glorious Alps because we've watched Hagazussa.
Hagazussa.
Tell us about Hagazussa.
Hagazussa is a 2017 film by Lukas Feigelfeld, and it is a horror movie that in 4 parts, but generally just take place over the life of a young woman. The first part is her childhood.
Sorry.
I'm just going to wipe this.
She's a goat herd.
It's doing things to you. She is a goat herd. I was going to get to that.
Goat herd.
Goat herd. So the first portion, Shadows, takes place when she's a young girl living with her mother as a
Goat herd?
goat herder.
No dar.
No dar. And they live kind of on their own, away from the small, very, very small town nearby, and are kind of ostracized from them.
Yeah, they're witches.
They are seen to be witches.
They've got a black cat. Burn them.
I was really worried about the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers, Donald. The local townspeople every now and again just kind of surround their little hut and scream that they're witches.
Yeah.
And then kind of wander away. Thankfully, they don't tend to do much. And their creepy goat masks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one day when they're out goat herding, her mother drops what I thought dead. Genuinely, I was like, oh, there she goes.
In the
And it's a
Alps.
real like grasps the heart and just keels back into flump into the snow. And I did give the movie the benefit of the doubt of how did that small girl get that large woman back to...
Yeah, weirdly, I thought of that as well. I don't usually bother worrying about these kind of things, but I was like, huh.
Yeah. I imagined it was a hobbling situation with her mother over. Yeah. So she calls on the doctor.
Priest. I think it's the same
Oh,
priest.
I thought it was a doctor and like a nun or whatever.
It's definitely a nun. I thought it might have been the same priest that has been there for years because he comes back later.
Mm-hmm. Well, they visit to, I suppose, priest and doctor were probably the same thing in what
1400s.
15th, yeah, in the Alps. He was also the local tax collector and butcher. So she's basically deteriorating, and you kind of get the impression that due to their status, that her condition is not given much.
I'll wait.
Oh, you're a dick.
I don't know. Attention, importance.
Yeah, her condition's not given a lot of attention. You know, a lot of credence. And the doctor kind of just is like, she's gonna die.
She's got pretty horrible bebos all over her as well.
Bebos?
Bubos.
No MySpaces?
Oh, that was awful.
Pustules?
Growths.
Yeah, bulbous growths. Disgusting
really gross.
growths. It really is.
She's real sick and sweaty. She vomits a lot. She's not doing well.
She is not doing well, and not only does her physical condition deteriorate, her mental condition deteriorates, and it all culminates.
God.
And the worst part is, this isn't really spoiler territory. This is just like the setup to our movie.
No.
So the mother's condition culminates in her kind of, first, gesturing towards her daughter to come lie with her, and then her mental state just takes a turn, and she sexually assaults her daughter. Yeah. At which point the daughter runs and hides, and the mother kind of like goes mental, possibly murders a cat.
There's a yowl.
There is a yowl, but to be honest, she could kick it and that would happen.
Yeah.
And then tears off into the night, and there is a kind of like demonicness to her screams.
Yeah.
It's not just like the cries of a human woman gone mad. And then, the next morning, Albrun goes out and looks for her mum to find her dead in the woods covered in snakes, as you do. The old dead in the woods covered in snakes bit. Did your mum never do that bit with you?
No, thankfully.
Dead in the woods covered in snakes?
Yes, no, she didn't, thankfully.
Ah, well.
End of segment 1, Shadow.
End of segment 1. Segment 1's a doozy.
And then Horn starts, and now Albrun is grown up.
Does it, Donald?
Oh, dear. With a child. And she's a full-on goat herd.
Yes. She looks, 10, 20 years later? Does it say? I can't remember.
I believe it's like 15 years later, but I can't remember for sure.
By the age of her, it looks possible. So she is living in the same hut now with her infant daughter. Still goat herding.
Yeah, tending to those goats. Bit too much.
Yes, so she's developed a kind of...
It's quite awkward.
Let's say sexual symbiosis.
She likes stroking the goat's udders and then frigging herself silly. Is that?
You and I have very different ways of putting things.
I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but there's horrible... there's milk and... stinky.
I mean, we're not really, because that's pretty much the first thing that happens in Horn. So she gets summoned to the... she gets interrupted in her private goat time by a woman who comes up, and kind of just chats to her and then says, hey, the priest is asking for you. Your priest pal from earlier, Donald.
Yeah, I think it is the same guy. And
there seems to be more behind this than we are let onto, but the kind of end of it is here's your mum's skull.
It's painted up nice.
Yeah, he's painted it up nice, weirdly.
They meet in
And she goes-
Ossuary, which is always a very cool place to be.
What's an ossuary?
It's just the bits of churches that are all fucking bones. Yeah.
Crypts.
No, because it's like they've...
Catacombs.
No. It's not like laid to rest. It's like they've built it using the bones.
Yeah.
The bones are everywhere.
Is that not what catacombs are?
Well, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. The Parisian, what are they called? Is that catacombs? Yeah.
It's a fucking ossuary, you cunt. I don't know why you're saying it's not.
I'm not saying it's not. I was just like, I don't know. I didn't know if they were the same like thing, same name for, or different name for the same thing.
Okay, let's find out. Catacombs, an underground cemetery. There you go.
They're already underground.
Ossuary, a container or room in which the bones of dead people are placed.
So one's more cash than the other. Do you want buried, or do you want just shoved in a cupboard?
Anyway, tangent.
So, what tangent?
You're gonna love editing this.
I don't have to edit it, mate. It's all going in raw.
Ew. Can you please not say that?
So
that?
she takes the skull back and she kind of prays to it, communicates with it.
She gives it a little stool.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, she
Hello,
dresses it
Mutter.
up. She kind of, it seems like quite a,
It's her one wee pal other than the goat.
and her daughter.
And Svinda.
And Svinda, is that what's her face?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she comes and visits and gets creeped out by the skull.
Yeah, but she's really weird anyway. She's like, she wanders in, says hello, and then just drinks a tiny bit of milk, looks at the skull, and then goes, right, bye.
But only for a moment, because they then meet up not long later on a nice little...
Right, this is the
bit
spoiler
where she-
territory, I think.
Well, I've got one more line before
Okay.
it goes into spoilers,
Okay.
because she has a wee chat with Albrun and talks about how
Oh, yeah.
community's so nice,
Yeah.
except for the bloody Jews and the bloody like occult heathens.
Heathens
Jews
and
and
Jews.
heathens are really apparently not liked around here.
Yep, they're going to come and rape her when she's alone at night.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and no, they kidnap her first, then rape her, then release her with
I took
a baby.
take her to mean more of the carnal sense. But either way, there's some of that in there.
So I took that as possibly a vague allusion to how she got her baby.
Yeah, maybe baby.
Perhaps a
Yeah,
traveler.
it's never
perhaps
never explained.
never how she
where
gets
this-
this baby.
Yeah,
Where this bloody baby
where
comes
bloody
from.
babies come from.
And I feel through the rest of the story, it kind of leaves you to because it literally could be anything. The only hints are the ones that you kind of can glean yourself, if you know what I mean. Much like that story, her saying of them coming and kidnapping you and taking you, and then you come back with a baby, and I think like that specifically said.
Devil child.
Yeah, essentially.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. You can take it from here.
Svinda, Albrun's only friend in the world, introduces her to a nice man, and then decides they all go and have a nice little lie down, nice day, and then Albrun decides to hold her down, tell her she's stinky, and then
Spinda decides to hold her down.
Svinda decides to hold her down, tell her she's stinky, and then lets or requests the man
Encourages?
rape her. Yeah, I don't know. It's just pretty unpleasant. And then Albrun hangs around for a bit, traumatized, goes back to the cabin. All her goat pals are gone, except for one, which has been turned into like...
Eviscerated.
Yeah, it's like... I didn't see it's like being skinned, but then bits of it have been put back in. Like she touches and it's been hung up, and she touches it, and all some guts fall out. And
that's why I was going with eviscerated. I feel that's the closest I can get to the absolute carnage.
It was definitely left.
It was left.
Yeah, it was left as a little gift parcel for her to unwrap.
Little message.
Yep.
And I did think that as a... I suppose I can get into that later. No, I should get into it now. Just because I spoke. So I think as rape scenes go in horror, and there are a lot of them, this one is handled quite tastefully.
Yeah, it's unpleasant to watch, but it's not gratuitous.
It is very unpleasant to watch, but it's not gratuitous at all. There's no explicit visuals whatsoever.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really, really well done shot to portray that horror.
I was just thankful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Albrun, she's pretty fucking angry, really, as you might be. I can imagine being angry in this situation. So she kills a rat, finds a rat, kills a rat.
Finds a rat,
kills a rat, puts it in the local watering hole, water supply. Put the little corpse.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on.
What?
And pisses in it.
I was about to fucking say. You can't say hold on before I've said it. I need to.
Okay.
And as she's doing that, her nose bleeds just a little bit in a slightly menacing way.
Just enough.
And then, she goes back to her cabin and she's in full-on muttering to her mother's skull mode.
Full-on breakdown mode.
Yep.
So then she sees she's out wandering with her daughter.
Fourth part, Blut, or blood.
Blood, yes, yeah. I think that's just before the rat stuff. But yeah, so she goes out and with her daughter and sees the body of the man. What I took it to be the body of the man and woman who.
I wasn't sure, to be honest.
So the only reason I think that is because of the next thing is so she sees a man carting two dead bodies, a man and a woman, which I took to be the people that accosted her. And then she sees a larger pile of burning bodies and realizes that it's not just because the bit that she poisons is a bit that you see the man and the woman drinking from earlier in the movie. But it looks to be the water source for a lot more people and has killed a lot more people. And that kind of fucks with her.
I thought she was pretty fucking happy with it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
She kind of seemed numb and then went into the woods and ate mushrooms.
She definitely smirked to her baby. She definitely smiled.
That's not a smile you want to see on anyone, Donald.
I mean, I took it to mean she would know that was the water source for the town, and she is really sick of the fucking town shit.
That's also, fair.
I don't think she was being specific. She's just sick of, like, everyone was mean to her, and the one person she thought was being nice to her orchestrated her rape, then stole all her goats. So I think she was kind of done with them all, to be honest.
That's fair. But yeah, she goes on a wee mushroom trip after this point.
They are the least appetizing looking mushrooms. Crawling in maggots.
That's what actual mushrooms are like.
Disgusting.
When they're in the wild.
Nah, I'm fine, thank you.
Quick tip for anyone.
You go for the maggoty ones.
No, if you pick them, let them dry out under your radiator. So that all the maggots crawl out.
Oh God, very nice.
Don't just eat them raw like she did.
Lovely. Oh God,
so many maggots.
And she has a nice little trip
By the way, also, little addendum, never done mushrooms.
Your Honor. She goes on a little trip. Pretty cool. Swirly. And then
Swirly.
goes to a nice frog pond.
Yeah, is that what we're calling it?
There's frogs jumping all over that fucking thing.
I call it a fucking swamp.
It is horrible. Yeah, she starts walking into it, and I was like, ugh. Like, I genuinely, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was vile. And then, double spoilers. She has full-on psychosis and drowns her baby.
Yay.
Yay.
What a cheery fest this is.
And then goes for a wee swim.
Yeah, and
with her
lots
eyes
of
open.
Ambiguous imagery underwater.
Yes.
Blood.
But also she has her eyes open in that disgusting water.
I was hoping it was like a stunt pond and it wasn't the actual one.
Yeah, that she was in like behind it.
Yeah,
it was just this,
or something.
Yeah, either that or that she better have good eye insurance.
Specifically.
Well, yeah, she had her eyes open.
And then we come to fire.
Fire. So, fire's kind of where it all goes a bit mental. Well,
sorry.
Yeah. No, I said mental.
Not the last
Definitely
one.
mean mental. No.
Fair enough.
No.
Okay.
No, this is the one where it goes fucking balls to the wall mental. Because as she, so we find her in her cabin asleep.
Yeah.
Not in a pond.
Not in a pond.
And there is a snake on her.
Yep.
And I was actually like, man, see knowing what I know about snakes, if I knew that was a non-venomous snake, I'd be fine with that.
Do you mean as the actress, or do you mean as the person?
Both.
Nice.
I'd be more freaked out in person because I would wonder where the fuck that snake came from. But
I think if I woke up in my little flat and there's a snake on my chest, I'd fucking shit myself. I'm gonna be honest.
But yeah, no, it was just a wee snake. Snake bites that size do not hurt.
Okay.
Yeah. What?
What's Super Hands' rhyme? Red next to black, jump the fuck back. Red next to yellow, cuddly fella. I think I'd turn on the light and quickly try and ascertain that.
I don't know what that means. I know what it's a reference to. I just don't know what it means.
The bands on the snakes.
Oh.
The coral snakes, whatever. Don't anyone. I don't know if Super Hands was correct with that, so.
Don't take that as gospel.
Oh, red next to yellow, brilliant.
So she just ignores the snake, to be honest, and she walks to her fireplace, hearing voices,
which she has heard intermittently throughout this whole film. We should say
yes, throughout her adult life, at least.
Yep.
And in front of her is the body of her drowned baby. So what does she do?
Insecty. Well, what would you do?
What would I do?
The natural thing to do.
I'd be hungry for one thing.
Oh God.
So I'd make a stew. She makes baby stew. She literally makes baby stew.
Ugh.
Like literally makes baby stew.
Yep.
Stew where the meat is baby.
Ugh. It's just chomping on the little rib
and
cage.
to be honest, so there's a very visceral scene where she eats some baby, and struggles with it, but does it anyway.
Yep.
And then vomits immediately after, as you would.
Yep.
The soup part doesn't look nice either.
It's not even just the meat. The actual stock is very disappointing.
Yeah.
Christ. Yeah, milky, thick vomit, and then she sees things.
Yeah, she basically trips out again,
Yeah.
or goes or just finally completely loses it.
Yep.
And sees her mother pointing and laughing at her.
Yep.
At which point she herself exits screaming in the night.
Yep.
But
Much like her mother did.
Much like her mother did, and collapses on a hillside.
Very picturesque.
Oh, gorgeous.
View of the
and
Alps.
with
Lovely.
her eyes now weirdly like blind, opaque.
Yeah.
She bursts into flame.
Yeah. She combusts. Yep. She lays down to die, and then her body combusts. Yep.
Sure.
Yep. End.
Roll fin.
What? You want to know what all that was about, do you?
So where are we off to next week, Donald?
Oh dear. Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's one of those arty ones.
Yeah. Really fucking is. So where do you want to start with this?
Let's give opinions about spoiler things first, then we can end the spoiler and carry on.
Okay.
Uh,
So basically, I'm going to work my way backwards.
yeah. Yeah. The end's fucking. The end's a bit.
Bananas.
The end is just nice imagery, really. The end's like, this looks really cool. Do you know what would be cooler if we just fucking set that on fire right there? I don't know. I've no idea at all because the movie there's a bit where she sees like a black shroud of just an absence of stuff in the forest early on. That's like the only actual almost supernatural thing she sees when she's not under the influence of drugs anyway. So yeah, it's really odd that at the end, like the eyes becoming cloudy and her bursting into flames doesn't really, I don't know. I mean, I did not like it, but it's just really like, okay, this guy's just doing stuff.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's that kind of ambiguity to put a final kind of period on the ambiguity of the supernatural within this movie.
Yeah. Well, without that, it's not supernatural at all, really.
No, it's just more the it wants to give that air.
Yeah.
And whether it does or doesn't, we can get into later. But I think that's kind of what that is that kind of like, oh, like that's what you're meant to do at the end of that. Like when she bursts in, you go, you know, like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was.
I don't know. Find it a bit conflicting, really, because I actually sometimes I'm not very consistent on whether I like it ambiguous or balls to the wall, because we're still in spoilers, so I'm just going to spoil two other films. Spoilers for Hereditary and The Witch. Just skip 20 seconds. So at the end of Hereditary and The Witch, they both end and you're like, oh, it really was supernatural. Like both of them are fully supernatural at the end.
Yeah.
Removing all the ambiguity. And this one, I was like, it's a bit weird, but it doesn't really tie into what the ambiguous supernatural presence actually was. It's just other weirdly ambiguous supernatural stuff. So I don't know. Like, I might have preferred it if he just didn't bother doing that and she just fell down dead on the nice landscape. I don't know I didn't get like the message of the opaque eyes or the burning corpse. So I was a bit like, I don't know. I don't know.
So, the majority of Horn and Blood, the two second and third respectively,
Horn and Blood,
is just it's a progression of her deteriorating mental state. That continues on from childhood trauma, that continues on from everything that, and I think that it was interesting because I'd heard like two things about this movie before we watched it, and one of them was, hey, this movie's like The Witch. And as I watched it, I was like, okay, I can see why people would think that. Like, it's a very, very easy comparison. But I actually found it way, way closer in tone to Saint Maud. Because they are both just they are horror movies about a journey of deteriorating mental states, about mental health really taking hold of a person.
Yeah.
And I think the main actress, Alexandra Quinn, does a great job, especially in her. Because I mean, we've watched a few of these movies, but it's very much like without a strong lead performance, this movie falls apart.
Well, it's basically all her. So
It's basically all her, and she does a great job of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's a good comparison too.
Yeah, it's definitely and the thing is about the final shot, and I'm not going to go too deep into spoilers because Saint Maud is a relatively recent movie. Go watch it.
Yep.
I'll be recommending it later.
Yep. It's
is
still
that
ambiguous.
Final shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that ambiguity.
Yeah, it remains ambiguous. Yeah.
And the thing I think, as you're saying, is whether you like balls to the wall or whether you like ambiguity. And the thing is, I would say that the balls to the wall is slightly easier to do, is to commit to an idea and to just display it and to go for it and to build everything up to this one point. Whereas with the ambiguity, you have to give enough to your audience. You have to lay those breadcrumbs for them to make their own assumptions, to continue that that story, that kind of journey into the fantasy on their own. And clearly with this movie, it did for me a wee bit. There was just enough there that kind of lured me into like, that's odd, but much like you, it never fully convinced me. And that's where I think, that final shot really seems to be more style than substance.
Yeah. I think that's where I am with it as well. I think is there anything? I mean, I'm fine with ending spoilers and then talking more generally. Up to you.
Yeah, no, I think that the only other thing is that because I don't want to go back into outside of spoilers, is the rape scene is just the it's very. I literally had the thought of Jesus Christ horror movies, because it is such a cliche in these movies, but I think it's earned. I always say that is like these kind of moments in movies really need to be earned, otherwise they just come across as very insensitive. And I think it does a really good job. Again, the lead actress's performance in that scene especially brings out a lot of that sheer like terror and disgust and horror of but yeah,
the woods tripping. I did like the subtle effects of the woods shifting around her when she was tripping. I thought it was pretty cool.
It seemed
the roots and the branches kind of almost crawling towards her a bit. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems to be a relatively realistic from it doesn't go completely out there. which a lot of movies with drugs do.
Like shrooms or something.
Yes. But no, remember, they were special ones.
Yeah,
They were
oh, yeah,
special
that's
bad
right.
ones that made ghosts bite off your penis. Sorry, spoilers for shrooms.
Yeah, no, it's just very well done. It's very
But yeah, spoilers be over.
Spoilers be over. I knew nothing about this film going into it at all, other than, in fact, I don't even know if I'd read a review that compared it to The Witch. I just knew it was about a witch, in inverted commas. So I was like, oh, she's the witch. Oh, okay, that's interesting.
She's the witch. She's the witch.
Right, not spoilers, 'cause it happens right at the start. Oh, she's the witch. Oh, she got a black cat and all that. All right, okay. Oh, it's like a different point of view, but also I was like, wow, she seems really scared of something. There was like a sinister presence in the woods she was scared of. So, all right, okay, it's quite interesting. I had absolutely no idea what this was about, but it was quite I thought it was quite interesting. If a little bit. I mean, I think the comparisons to The Witch are apt because there's a whole fucking spate of these movies right now which are, hey, do you know, the woods are kind of creepy, but it used to be the woods are kind of creepy because there might be a killer in them, but now it's the woods are kind of creepy because they're just a bit creepy and there's some noises and in all these movies, a lot of the time you don't really know what's in there and stuff like that. I've seen loads of these movies lately for some reason. And I'm going to recommend another one later that I've not seen yet, but I'm going to watch. So, yeah.
So what did you think of it overall?
Well, it's one of those movies. Ooh.
Yeah, well, that's not my... is that
it? It was good, slow, artful, very slow, not one to watch on a date, depressing, dour, but pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I quite liked it. Yeah, I mean, so I've not actually watched The Witch again, but I am gonna, and I will report in when I do. But officially, I like this more than The Witch. But that's because I've not watched The Witch in ages. So let's see what I think about it. Because the problem with this movie is it's very light on plot, and it's a lot of one woman being scared and being odd and losing herself a lot. You know, it's like it might just be style over substance. I'm not sure. After one watch, I'm not sure. Oh God, going back and watching it again though, it's a pretty long misery fest. It feels like a long misery fest. Do you know what I mean?
It's a good movie. I have watched it twice. It is good.
Oh, get him. Does it proper for these things.
So what would you give Hagazussa on the Donald? What are you going to rate it on IMDb?
It's one of these awkward ones because my IMDb ratings is based on recommendations. But I'm going to have to break that for this because I would only recommend this to someone who said that they loved The Witch, but they want to see something that's kind of like that. Because it's different. And the director on record said that he'd not seen The Witch when he made this. So it's
I don't fucking see it.
And it took him years, so I don't think that it's not derivative or anything like that at all. It's just slightly similar. It's just slightly similar material.
Yeah,
just slightly. But I think I'd probably give it a good old 7. 6 being 6 is like
you feel 6 is too harsh, and you feel like
8. It's not an 8. It's not an 8. It can't be an 8 because my God, I have to wait 5 to 10 years to watch this again, and even then I'd be like, oh, it's really grueling though. It's really grueling. Like it's pretty joyless. I mean, it definitely ticks the disturbing part of the horrific, chilling, disturbing entertainment thing. It's pretty rough, and I would. It's one of these films that should probably have trigger warnings all over it also. So it's like,
oh yeah,
God. It covers a lot of horrible ground.
We should probably just put that at the bottom of the description.
Oh, well, listen, I mean, it comes with the territory for horror movies that triggers always get pulled. Boundaries get pushed, triggers get pulled.
Boundaries, yeah.
So,
Triggers get triggered.
triggers get triggered. So, yeah. But even then, whoa,
War.
big old exercise in misery. Bit of fun enough one.
Yeah. So I thought I was kind of the same boat as you. If we're doing comparisons to The Witch,
We don't need to. I would just.
No, I know, but just
it's
in
just
the sense
easy. It's just the easy.
yeah,
It's just
No,
the
I'm
easy
aware.
one. It's not actually the one with it's not a particularly rewarding one. I don't think.
No,
It's just the one you chuck out there.
but I think that in terms of scene to scene comparisons of if you're saying they don't have a lot of plot, I think that The Witch uses its not plot time a lot better. It's about character development. It's about building the relationship between all of these characters,
Which you
and it
cannot
does
get
that,
in this, really.
which you cannot get in this. So instead, you just get really, really extended shots.
Yeah.
Really extended shots.
So the cinematography is really nice. A lot of
Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
It is a really good looking film, and it has that going for it. Also, the soundtrack. Sorry, I've just interrupted your thoughts and stomped all over them. The soundtrack by MMN. Is that what they're called? This Greek dark ambient band is really good, and it's basically just chugging along through the whole film. And it's actually on Spotify. I was listening to earlier, and it's very moody and good. So you it's got fuck you. I'm just gonna carry on talking.
I've noticed.
It's my part 2 of my thoughts because I just had more thoughts. So maybe it's a 7.5 because the strength of the strength of the camera work and this soundtrack does elevate it for me, irrespective of the pacing and the pretty unpleasant subject matter, which were kind of negatives for me. I mean, the pacing was okay. We've watched films that I thought were a fucking crawl and I didn't like, but I never thought this was a crawl. It just does go on a bit too long. It does just start kind of getting lost in its own art style. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, oh god, this is really nice. Give it another 10.
Funnily enough, I do know what you mean. It's almost as if I was about to say it, and then
Sorry, carry on.
stop. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's
And another thing that
I think it is definitely those some shots just linger too long. You've got everything long. You can get a lot out of long shots, but if you're not getting anything more out of them, that's when they become dull. And there's just a few too many moments in this movie where those long shots become dull.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel it differs from that comparison to The Witch. But as you said, I don't feel that that's enough to really drag it down. I did enjoy this movie. Much like you said, it feels like a slow-paced movie, but it was never one that I felt I needed to check the time on. It flows really well. It flows so well, and I don't actually think it does waste a lot of time. I think that there's just a wee bit too much gratuitousness and how much he loves his those lingering wide
some
shots.
of those Alps shots, the Alps money shots in this film are very nice.
So and it's not that long a movie. I think just over an hour and a half. So it doesn't outstay its welcome, but there's just it feels unrefined in certain areas, and I don't think that's. I mean, I don't know how many movies Lukas Feigelfeld has done, but
may as well just go on to that. This is Lukas Feigelfeld's graduate project from film school. So there you are, criticizing him, unrefined. Yeah, it was his thesis project from his film school in Berlin. It was, he says, a student film, which meant there was hardly any budget, so they used equipment and facilities from his school. They also raised a staggering sum of £2,103 in Indiegogo. I was like, how much did this cost? They must have. I've got a feeling that this was treated like, you know, when people say Paranormal Activity costs $40,000, but it actually
150 grand.
Yes.
Oh no, it was like.
But then, it was probably
10.
less than that.
I think it was 10 grand.
Yeah,
or something like that.
it was. It was even less. Yeah, 10 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
But then it got picked up by someone, and obviously they pump more money into it. But it's better to. So I'm sure there's no way it cost that little. Surely to Christ, they must have given some money to him. He did get sponsorships and stuff, but I was just like, when I saw that it was crowdfunded, I was like, oh, I wonder how much. And I was like, £2,000. I've seen the shittest projects on Kickstarter. I've seen like people's like mum and dad pitch that much in, like, it's nuts.
Yeah. that is so. Yeah, no, I mean, like, definitely when I'm saying unrefined, that was kind of what I expected. Was not, obviously I didn't expect Graduate Project £2,000, but I expected debut feature.
Yeah.
And it is 100% debut feature. And for a debut feature, it's stellar.
Yeah,
like it really is a stellar like work for someone that's never made.
He's made like short film and things, but
no,
it's his first.
He was in film school. Of course, he's fucking made films.
Excuse me.
I'll stomp over you in a minute. It's my thoughts now. But yeah, it is absolutely something that like
bit of raw talent.
Yeah, put him on the one to watch list. You know, like I want to see what he does next.
His next project
is about this. These two men that are on a shipping tower in the middle of an island.
Oh dear! It's I think it's about rising fascist tensions in Europe. So I don't know. He's not very. He's one of these guys that not particularly comfortable with the horror moniker. So who knows if his next film is really going to be horror and that kind of thing. So who knows?
That's fair. That is fair.
Yep.
But now that we know what we think of it, do you want to know what the populace at large think of it?
Oh, I hate them though.
I know, but Jordan G on Amazon.
Jordy G.
Gave it 5 stars.
Out of 5, it's Amazon. Sorry, I need to keep up with that because sometimes it's confusing.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. And his title is Very Nice. And the body of his text is Shit's dope, son.
Oh, he is straight to the. Can we see what other films he's reviewed? If he's reviewed any of the horrors, we need to.
I don't think I can.
Oh, can you not do that on Amazon? Man,
No.
that is. Frame that. Print that and frame that. That's the best review you ever said on this show.
Shit's dope, son.
I wouldn't go as far as dope, but that's okay.
The shit is dope.
Georgie G? Jordy G? I've already forgot his name.
Jordan G.
Jordy G.
GG. Over to IMDb, where it is out of 10.
Thank you.
Before I confuse you by saying that this got a 10. By Simpson40334, who says, disturbing. Jump scares are like candy. Sweet, fast, and over. If you want something to stick with you, this movie is for you. The visuals are matched only by the ignorance of the times. It's a slow burn for your senses. Just outright horror in its purest form.
Oh my god, there's something horrible about that review. I don't know why. It's the tone of it. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, maybe if we go to the other
sweet
side
like
of the scale,
candy bit or whatever, I was like, ugh.
Truehaven 33216 gave it 1 out of 10.
Shit's whack, son.
Says actual garbage. This film is genuinely terrible. It takes a lot to make me skip scenes, and this movie had scenes where nothing happened for several minutes. Too many pointless scenes with no rhyme or reason for existing. Just a weird, softcore, pervert fantasy. Skip.
I mean, if you've got fantasies about goat milk, then right on the money.
Yes, I never felt that any of the sexual aspects in this movie were really flaunted for titillation.
Not at all.
Pedro Perez 90 says, "Look at me, I'm so pretentious," with his 3 out of 10. This starts well with a good atmosphere until you realise it will be the same BS until the end.
Wait.
We should definitely create a new category for horror: pretentious BS full of nothing.
Now, he's onto something there, because it is a definite schism in horror these days where you either have Blumhouse films and moody art pieces, hopefully set in the woods.
Hopefully.
They are. It is. The ones over here will be slow and atmospheric, and will have 0 to 1 jump scare. And if the jump scare happens, it's at the end. The ones over here will have jump scares every 20 minutes, and they'll actually go to the cinemas. He is totally on the money there. The only thing he's wrong about is obviously his opinions and everything else. But I totally agree with him.
But I mean, we've been over this. Genres are meaningless these days.
Oh, I know, but I feel like my problem with The Witch when I watched it was because I was expecting it to be a bit more of the hey, but it was a bit more of the. So you enjoyed The Lighthouse. Yeah, because I knew what it was going to be like. You do have to, because I like not knowing stuff about films going into them. I can get caught out by that if I expect something and it's not at all like that. The changing of the changing of my gear it can.
The Drive conundrum.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I really like Drive, but the gear shift doesn't always happen immediately, and then much like I'm going to do The Witch, I need to let it let it go away, and then go back into it as fresh as it can be. So who was that guy? Pedro what?
Pedro Perez.
Okay, his opinion on the film is fucking shit, but I do agree with him on that one point. Officially. Do you?
No.
Let's move on.
No, let's go into it for 20 minutes. Instead of doing that, how about we go into Ali's theme corner?
Yay! I think was this missing last episode because you really didn't like the film and you couldn't be arsed.
The film. It wasn't as much that I couldn't be arsed. I just didn't gleam a lot of theme. No gleam, no theme.
No Armani. No. Sorry, we were just doing rhymes.
Okay. So I feel that obviously one of the main things throughout the film is mental health.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of how not only how mental health was viewed back in those days, or mental health issues, but I feel it's a more realistic look at persecution of witches in big inverted commas.
Yeah.
During those days than most movies would give you. I don't, it wasn't just going and burning them. We didn't just round them up, point at Goody Two Shoes and say she's the witch and then get her to the town square and burn them. It was realistically, this is probably more what it was like.
Cutting them off from society.
Yeah, and then really treating them like absolute fucking garbage. And also, I think a lot of how religion can poison that. It really is this. What do they have a problem with her for, apart from what is taught from the church? Despite the fact that the church clearly is on decent terms with her. They don't persecute her at the church.
Yeah.
She was invited there for her mother's skull, maybe not in the pulpit, but in the grounds.
Yeah.
They came to her house to check on her mother. It is not a complete
shunning.
It's that kind of but from the top, and it's that kind of I got from it of that the figurehead can act like the nice one,
Yep.
but the words they preach are the poison that ends up
Yeah.
really, really taking hold and really affecting the actual townsfolk.
Yeah.
And then there's the trauma of her, what happens with her mother.
Yep.
And I think that's where the sexual kind of aspect comes through.
Yep.
Is she is clearly
Dysfunctional.
yes, due to that incident,
Yep.
likely. And then you've also got where does her daughter come from?
Yep.
Is it rape? Is it a fling with a Jew? Is it immaculate conception? Like,
We need to for those who didn't listen post spoilers, the Jew comment.
no, that was the last comment before the spoilers. Remember?
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
Yeah, because
yes,
my
I
spoiler
did.
warning. Yeah, and then you did say
Yeah.
I want to mention that. So okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I know why. We're good.
You know why he's okay. How she had this baby is never explained, but whether it is from any of these three things or something else,
Yep.
it is clearly another reason for her to be pushed out of society. And I think, to be honest, all those themes are handled with relative taste,
Yeah.
with relative care,
Yep.
which I think was quite nice from a horror movie.
Horror in inverted commas because genres don't exist anymore.
Yes, horror drama. Horror drama, comedy, horror drama, comedy,
Comedy.
musical. Yeah.
Laugh a minute, listen.
Laugh a minute. See if you're not laughing yet, just give it another 5 minutes, honestly. See if you think it again, just give it another 5 minutes.
Oh dear. All right, email time. So we've had an email from Bernard.
Bernie?
His email address is alassani@gmail.com. Dear sir,
Wait.
can I trust you on this transaction? Right. Bear with it and just listen to the words here because I don't really get where he's
Okay.
coming from, okay? After several unsuccessful attempts to locate one of my deceased relatives who died in a fatal car accident, I decided to contact you based on the name, resemblance, and nationality you both bear before moving on to his US dollar family was involved in fatal car accident. I hope to hear from you to give you more details. Bernard Lalong Esquire, LLB BL. Is he trying to contact me or you? I'm not sure which, because we look like his dead relative.
That's what it sounds like.
So does he think that me or you was his relative fake to death?
Wait, hold on. I have actually been getting a lot of phone calls recently asking me if I've been in a car accident.
Have you been? Do you think it's Bernard?
Not that I can remember.
Mr. Lalong, LLB BL. LLB stands for Bachelor of Laws, which is also what BL means. So I assume he's got two different degrees.
Actually.
Now, weirdly, Bernard then emailed us later saying, hello, did you receive my previous correspondence?
Wow.
But he changed his email address to ellistrumpy.usa@gmail.com. So I don't know why Bernard is, maybe he's got a relationship with Elizabeth Trumpy. I'm not sure.
Liz Trumpy.
Liz Trumpy, yeah.
Bernie and Trumpy.
I don't know if it seems like a scheme. But I don't understand if it's his family member, would the money not just go to him? What does he need us for?
He can't find them.
Why does he need to find them? They're dead.
You need proof.
Well, all right. Well, fair enough. He's just making sure that we're not the person still alive, right? Okay. Well, can you get back to Bernard? I don't know if you should contact the first email address or the second, but
Well, I tell you what. I mean, I think if I just send them both my passport details, that'll probably just clear everything up.
you should always feel free to send identification documents to people over the internet because there's not much they can do with them.
No. I've got it. What are they going to do? It's in my hands.
Remember when Jeremy Clarkson tweeted his credit card number and said, nothing's going to happen, and then had to cancel the credit card less than an hour later because someone had tried to steal thousands of pounds from it. Just thought that would cheer everyone up after Hagazussa, which was a bit of a depression ride. Oh dear.
Speaking of a depression ride, where are we off to next, Donald?
Wait, hold on. First of all, Bernard, you can email us at caravantourofterror@gmail.com, obviously. Other films to watch. I'm still going to watch The Witch.
Yes, other films to watch. You should watch The Witch. But for me, it's definitely Saint Maud.
Saint Maud.
Saint Maud is my go-to recommendation for this movie.
Yep. For reasons previously discussed. And my other movie with a general evil presence in the woods motif, which has popped up on my radar, but I've not actually watched yet, is Sator. So I might make a double bill of woody goodness with Sator and the Witch. Sator is apparently about some malevolent presence.
Near or in some woods.
Near or in some woods, and a family that are sheltering from it.
Yeah, what century is it? Does it take place in?
I don't know. Let's look.
Because that's an interesting one. Both of them are.
Both period pieces. So is this one too?
Yeah.
The Wikipedia has no plot summary at all, so I'm not sure about this. It is super fucking low budget. So it may be that it's not particularly well known yet.
Well,
just edit this down. Just edit this down and give me a second. Just edit this down and give me a second. Just edit this down and give me a second. Checking deer cam footage on his computer. It is modern.
Oh.
And I've got a feeling that he's going to see something else on those deer cam feeds.
Is it a found footage film then?
No.
Okay.
Just from the couple of
I'll go fuck myself.
From the couple of screenshots I've seen, no, it doesn't look. If it is, they are shooting it on film and then reviewing it later. So yeah, Sator and The Witch. I am going to try and watch these both, and I will apologise if Sator is shit. I'll probably give my mini reviews of both of them on the next episode.
And speaking of next episode, where are we off to?
We're going to Denmark to check out
Denmark
2014's When Animals Dream, directed by Jonas Arnby.
Wow.
What?
Just for one, it's not a weird name.
When Animals Dream.
Yeah.
Do you want to know anything about it?
Yeah.
Werewolves.
At least if you say it's a horror comedy musical, I'll note it.
It's werewolf adjacent.
It's werewolf adjacent?
Yep.
It's next to werewolves.
It's a take on werewolves. It may be the same way that Bliss is a take on vampires, I'm not sure. As in, it's not, there's probably not going to be silver bullets in it, but I don't know. I just know that it's some kind of odd take on werewolf.
An American werewolf in Denmark.
No, hopefully not.
No.
Wait, Paris?
Why?
Or London? Paris.
Exactly. One's excellent and one's terrible. Well, speaking of when animals dream, this animal is going to go dream now that he's wiped off all that good goat's milk. My skin is feeling so soft.
You reek.
Eureka, indeed. I'm going to go for a nap and wake me up when we get to the border.
You're the navigator. I suppose if I keep driving, I'm going to hit the border
North.
at some point.
It's fucking north, mate. We're at the Alps. We've got a wee bit to go. We've got all of Germany to cross. You didn't plan this trip very well.
Don't fucking start on me, sunshine.
Do you know what?
You're the navigator.
Do you know what? Just start this goddamn caravan. We'll see you all next week. Go, Donald. Go.
Aye.